mediation is an incredibly versatile tool. Whether we are dealing with a conflict between two individuals or between certain groups of individuals, whether we call it mediation or team mediation or team facilitation, the ultimate process of mediation can be used in almost any context. And so therefore there are a couple of principles that possibly we must touch on when we talk about the idea of when is mediation useful, because it is useful in the vast majority of opportunities. First principle, I think, is that the earlier the better. I mean, the whole principle of getting involved in mediation is that we are able to head off the formalism and the legalism that come with our formal institutional conflict management processes. And the earlier we are able to identify a destructive conflict and deal with a destructive conflict, the easier and the better it is, both for the individuals concerned, the groups concerned, and for the organization. The second principle is that mediation can only be used if the parties that are going to be involved in the mediation have both agreed to it. It's a voluntary process. So the parties are happy to go into it, or at least, as we keep on saying, they are willing to give it a go. Then mediation becomes a useful option for you, becomes a possible option for you. The second or the third issue is that not only is there a need for a voluntary entry into the mediation process, we need to be very sure that there is a voluntary exit from the process. And what I mean by that is that when an agreement is reached, that the agreement is a genuine, authentic, and sustainable solution for those two parties. This can be whether we are dealing with some kind of settlement arrangement. It can be whether in a team environment we are dealing with trying to get the teams to work more effectively together. So long as they're all on the same patch at the end, mediation, it provides a fantastic opportunity to ensure that a conflict is resolved and pursued. In matters of change in organization, even sometimes where those changes potentially are prejudicial to employees, mediation can provide a most effective way of ensuring that the relationships between the various parties are protected, simply because mediation provides a very honest, a very open, and a very safe place in which to express needs, objectives, concerns, wearinesses. So even in times or cases where an organization is going through negative change, there can be positive outcomes through the use of mediation, strangely enough, and it's been shown over and over again how effective that is in times of organizational change. We must also, in answer to this question, just reflect on the fact that there are certain times where that mediation needs to be watched carefully. The first thing is, in reaching an agreement in a mediation process, in going that road, we can't use mediation to bind people or parties that are not part of that mediation, for obvious reasons. So whenever there is a need for a party to be involved that is outside, that doesn't want to be party to the mediation, by definition the mediation cannot succeed, because that third party's engagement, voluntary engagement, is fundamental to the ability of the mediation to have any force or effect in the real world. And then finally, we must just be very mindful that we do not allow mediation to conflict with hard elements of law, be it issues of criminal justice or issues of GBH issues that have been defined in law as assault, matters of that nature. We need to be mindful that we do not allow mediation to creep into that space. Other than those little riders on the side, there are very few instances where mediation is not an effective tool, be it individual, two-party, three-party, four-party, or team-related, where teams of people are in conflict with each other or in conflict with leadership and need to find a way forward. Again, may I suggest that if you have anxiety over whether a case should be referred to mediation, give us a call. Let's chat through it. Let's have a look at what options are out there for an appropriate way to resolve conflict within your organizations without getting trapped by the formalism of our traditional structures.